They called them savages. They called them uncivilized. But open your eyes, who were the real savages? Was it the people living in harmony with their land, growing their cultures, protecting their traditions, raising their children with pride? Or was it the ones who sailed in uninvited, with guns, greed, chains, and fire, to loot, to kill, to destroy everything they didn't understand? Who were the real uncivilized? The ones who built cities by rivers, charted stars, wrote poetry, healed with ancient medicine? Or the ones who came to burn, to rape, to enslave, to erase? They came across oceans not to share knowledge, not to build friendship, but to conquer. They called it exploration, they called it discovery, but it was invasion, it was theft, it was slaughter. From Africa to Asia, from the Americas to Australia, no land was spared their so-called civilization. They ripped babies from mothers' arms. They burned libraries. They whipped backs until blood watered the soil. They drew borders with no respect for lives, cultures, or history. And then they had the audacity to call themselves heroes. Who were the real savages? The people dancing around the fire? Or the people who set entire continents on fire and called it progress? They lied to the world. They lied to themselves. They said they brought civilization. But what they brought was greed, death, destruction, disease, famine, war, genocide. They didn't build. They stole. They didn't civilize, they brutalized. They didn't save, they enslaved. Every nation they invaded was already developing, in its own way, in its own rhythm, with its own soul. Nobody asked for their civilization. Nobody called for their chains. They forced themselves in, because conquest was always the goal, not kindness. And today they still teach their children that they saved the world. But history, real history, knows the truth. They didn't civilize anything. They slaughtered, they looted, they enslaved, they lied. They were the real savages. They were the real uncivilized. The world was already beautiful until they came. The truth has been buried for too long. If this opens your eyes, don't let their lies stay louder than our truth. Like, comment, and share, and make sure the real story is heard. Subscribe if you're ready to reclaim history, not just repeat it.